South Carolina's Ashlyn Watkins gets arrested. The headache starters are tearing through the WNBA. Asia Wilson is still Asia Wilson, and a whole lot more. Women's Basketball Weekly starts now. What is up, awesome people of the internet? We do have a packed show today, so let's get started with the WNBA, who has had games left and right. The WNBA season ends officially on September the 19th, so we have a bunch of games to cram in a short period of time. Last week alone, we saw two days on Wednesday and on Sunday where 10 WNBA teams were in action in one night. And boy, were those some battles. Guys, there were some fantastic games for this past week. So I hope y'all have WNBA League Pass and y'all can go back and watch some of those because there were some pretty good gems to talk about. But let's kind of see where we are right now and take a quick look at the standings. And let's talk about some of these teams. All right, so at the number one spot, we have the New York Liberty with a record of 27-6. Again, 27 wins, 6 losses. Really good for the New York Liberty this year. The team had a brief stint without starters Sabrina Ionescu and Benija Laney Hamilton. Also, they had time without Courtney Vandersloot as well at different points in the season, but this team did not falter at all. They had players like Kayla Thornton, Leonie Fibich step up and step out on the bench and make some noise for the Liberty. They also had a consistent presence in their stars, Brianna Stewart, who was on back-to-back 32-point games, which is kind of cool. We also have Jonquel Jones, who has been holding it down for the Liberty in the paint. Sandy Brondello has been doing a masterful job as a coach for this season for the Liberty, just going with the flow and figuring out how to make it work with whoever is available. Putting out a pretty dynamic offense, in my opinion. And at times, yes, their defense can be a little bit suspect, but overall, the New York Liberty are looking like the team to beat for the WNBA. It really is. They're looking fantastic, not just in terms of their win-loss ratio, but just watching them play and watching the toughness of the matchups. You got Benija Laney Hamilton, who can score off the dribble, also can play some defense. You have Sabrina Ionescu, who can shoot the three, get you by driving to the rim, or she can stop and pop for a jump shot. You have Brianna Stewart, who's kind of a unicorn, can do generally everything. You have Jonquel Jones, who can spot up for 3 points, or she can beat you down low. This is a team. You have Courtney Vandersloot, who still is not the Courtney Vandersloot we remember her being, but she still is a pretty effective point guard. And then on the bench, Kayla Thornton, Leonie Fibich. You have some really good players. Dojkic, who doesn't play very often, but can come in the game and make some noise. Niara Sabally. This is a team that has talent, and they have a decent amount of depth that will allow them to seriously make some noise as they try to finally win a WNBA championship for the New York Liberty. Next up, we have the Connecticut Sun at number 2 with a record of 24 wins and 8 losses. Now, this is a very good squad that has 6 players who can be a starter on this team. We have seen some sort of experimentation of sorts from Stephanie White, who is the head coach for the Connecticut Sun. And it seems like she may have settled on the fact that Myrna Mabry will not start for the Connecticut Sun. She will actually come off the bench. And Dejanay Carrington, while she was on the bench for a couple of games while they tried to figure out how Myrna Mabry will work with the team, she's regained her starting spot back. And it's working. It's working out really well. And what makes sense, it makes a lot of sense to run with a starting lineup of DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Jones, who has been doing her thing on the court. I'm just saying, Bree Jones does not get the respect that she deserves. We have Ty Harris and Dejanay Carrington wrapping up the starting lineup for the Connecticut Sun. And then you have Myrna Mabry coming off the bench, who is just straight up offense, which is absolutely critical for this team because this is a team that defensively, they're set. Not really any issues, but sometimes they do struggle to score, specifically from the three-point line. And having a player like a Myrna Mabry to come off the bench is huge for this team and really will help them try to make another finals run. Fun fact, guys, did you know DeWanna Bonner recently moved into 4th place on the WNBA's all-time scoring list and currently stands at 7,385 total points. She passed Tamika Catchings, and it is possible that we may see DeWanna Bonner move up to 3rd place in scoring for the WNBA because she is only about 100 points away from passing Tina Thompson, who currently is sitting at number 3. Of course, number 1, we all know it is Diana Taurasi. Number 2 is Tina Charles. Number 3, Tina Thompson. Number 4, DeWanna Bonner. But DeWanna will be moving from 4 to 3 very, very soon, passing Tina Thompson eventually. The Minnesota Lynx is in 3rd place with a record of 24 wins and 9 losses on the season so far. Now, since coming off of the Olympics, the Minnesota Lynx have been rolling, absolutely rolling. Yes, they did have an uncharacteristic loss against the Dallas Wings, but overall, this team looks very, very good. And remember, guys, Alana Smith is out right now, and we have Dorka Juhas holding it down in the starting lineup for the Minnesota Lynx, and they are absolutely doing their thing. The thing that I really, really like about the Minnesota Lynx is that they are an extremely fluid team. Their rotations is very fluid, and they really have embraced this sort of positionless basketball. This is a team that is short. They only have 2 players over 6'4". And now that Alana Smith is out with injury, now they got 1 in Dorka Juhas. Their best player is a 6'1" power forward in Nafisa Collier. They have 2 5'8" players rotating at the point guard position in Courtney Williams and Atisha Heidemann. This is a extremely undersized team that usually is undersized against whoever their competitors are. They're usually the shortest people on the court, the Minnesota Lynx. But even though they are undersized, they will take you down because they are very, very good defensively. They have active hands. They are going to get in the passing lane. They're going to steal the ball. They're going to play heads up defense. They're going to sit down on you and move and make you work for every single thing you got. They have defense, and they also got some shooters on their team, which is why they are as good as they are. You have Courtney Williams, who can give you about 20 points just through mid-range jumpers alone. You got Kayla McBride and Bridget Carlton, who can be lethal at the 3-point line. You got Alana Smith that, when healthy, can do just about everything. You got the unicorn of all unicorns in Nafisa Collier, who, yes, is short, but can literally shoot 3-pointers, mid-range, post you up. She can literally do anything on the court and be exceptional at it. And you also have the newcomer to this team, Maisha Hines-Allen, who was traded from the Washington Mystics. And Maisha has really, really shored up the Lynx bench, especially for the post, because she's able just to come in and be that extra defensive stopper. Also, she's a player who can get her points as well. So Maisha Hines-Allen, to me, I thought was a critical piece for this Minnesota Lynx team to try to make it as far as possible in the playoffs, because they do have a little bit more depth for the bigs when it comes to Maisha Hines-Allen. Number 4, we have the Las Vegas Aces, who are 20-12 on the season. And this team has overall been very hot and cold since the Olympic break, which is something that they really do need to figure out. But a very consistent player on this team that even when she has a bad game is still really, really good for everybody else. That's A'ja Wilson. Guys, here's a fun stat for you. Did you know that A'ja Wilson has led her team in scoring in 23 of the team's 32 games so far this season? Also, A'ja Wilson is leading her team in rebounds and has been the top rebounder for her team in 28 of 32 games. This past week alone, A'ja Wilson scored 42 points in a narrow loss against Dallas. She scored 26 points and 16 rebounds in a win against Atlanta. And just yesterday, she had 41 points, 17 rebounds against Phoenix. A'ja Wilson is a literal cheat code for the Aces. You just give her the ball and you just watch. Something good is going to happen. Something good is going to happen when you give the ball to A'ja Wilson, because she just knows how to score. I said it when A'ja Wilson scored the game winner against the Chicago Sky last week. A'ja Wilson is A'ja Wilson. And we just have to accept that fact. And A'ja Wilson is dominant. It is what it is. She's on her way to a third WNBA MVP win while averaging 27.5 points and 12 rebounds per game, which is absolutely wild. Now, I'm going to leave y'all with this. This is a comment that I actually consider huge praise for A'ja Wilson, coming from the GOAT, Diana Taurasi.
A'ja in the Olympics, can you just talk about her performance tonight and the 41 points?
I mean, look, there's been some amazing players in our league. I mean, what she's doing right now is just unthinkable. How well she's playing on both ends. She's just, she's unguardable. You guys look at her as a post, I look at her as a guard. It's not like she's posting up. Everything's face up, jab steps. I believe she's making threes now, which, crazy. Good luck for the next 10 years for this league if she's making threes. Kudos to her. Every year she's gotten better. She's added some to her game. She's in amazing shape. Truly just amazing what she's been able to do, and she'll continue to do it.
Now, guys, there is a very funny, wild thing that has been going on the internet about A'ja Wilson. It's her decision to wear a white T-shirt and for the games, because usually A'ja Wilson be styling and profiling, right? She usually be dressing up to the nines for pregame, for the photos and whatnot. But lately, we have seen A'ja decide to just wear a white T-shirt. And y'all, when A'ja Wilson is wearing a white T-shirt, y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out, because she means business, okay? She means business. And I'm wondering, maybe the rest of the team should start wearing white T-shirts. I'm just saying, be like your leader. Wear some white T-shirts, and maybe the Aces will get on a run to end the season. All right, next up, the Seattle Storm is sitting at number 5 in the standings, and they are another team that has struggled since coming back from the Olympics. This is a team that on paper is really, really good, but what we see on the court is not as good. Their offense is relatively okay, though it would really help them to get better at the three-point line, because they do kind of struggle in terms of putting three-pointers in the game. They don't really do that very often, and them sort of getting strong at the three-point line actually would be very, very beneficial for them. But where I do see this team really, really struggle is on defense. Yes, you have Ezi Magmagor in the post, and she's great with the block shots and whatnot, and definitely is a contender for Defensive Player of the Year. But both the New York Liberty and the Connecticut Sun game, they really did show that the Seattle Storm has a huge defensive problem across the board. And I thought that bringing in a player like a Gabby Williams will sort of help in the long run on that defensive effort. And maybe it will, sort of as we get down to the playoffs and whatnot. But right now, it's still, Gabby Williams is a really good defender. However, this is a team that needs more help on defense. They either need more help or they need to score more. Their scoring is okay where it is. However, you got to do one. You got to do one or the other. If you're going to allow these teams to continually score and get 90-something points on you, you got to be able to have the offensive firepower to counteract that. And if they were able to hit more three-pointers, that absolutely would help this team. But we'll sort of see where they go from here. They're a bit of a confusing team, in my opinion. On paper, they look awesome. But on the court throughout the game, the rotations that they have, the plays that they run, it's just not working out. It's just not working out, because ultimately they are not figuring out a way to get the win, mainly because their defense is struggling. But yeah, we'll see what happens from here with the Seattle Storm. What do y'all think about the Seattle Storm? Are y'all thinking Are they confusing to you all too? Is there like a discrepancy in your opinion between the Storm that we see on paper and the Storm that we see on the court? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, guys, if y'all could please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. That really does help the channel out a whole lot. Hit that like button for me one time. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to number 6, we have the red hot Indiana Fevers, who are above 500 for the first time in years with a record of 17 wins and 16 losses. This team has been dominant since the Olympic break. They are led by who I consider the headache starters in Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. And guys, the reason why I call them the headache starters is because overall, they gonna give you a headache. They gonna give you a headache if you playing against them, because they are offensively crazy. Absolutely crazy. Both have range for days. Caitlin Clark, we all know she got that step to the left 3-point shot, right? She also is one of the league's best passers. Definitely one of the top point guards in the WNBA right now as a rookie. She can thread the needle at any point and give the basketball to whoever. So on defense, you kind of have to keep your head on a swivel, because Caitlin may step to the left, hit a 3-point shot. She may get a screen, go into a 3-point shot. She may get a screen, roll off of that, get to the basket with a layup. She may roll off that screen, thread the needle, pass the basketball, and give her teammate a layup, right? Or she could just stop and pop for a jumper. Like, it's so difficult to defend Caitlin because not only does she have an offensive bag in terms of scoring, she also can find her players at a drop of a hat. And yes, she does have a lot of turnovers, which absolutely she has to work on. Absolutely, there are some definitely boneheaded decisions that she does make sometimes passing the basketball. But overall, it's well worth it for the Indiana Fever because they are becoming really, really successful with her threading the needle and passing it to her teammates for an easy shot. And then we have Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell, as I said, she has range for days. This is a player who can spot up at any point, 3-point shot, mid-range shot. She is a magnificent cutter, guys. In years past, I didn't really think of Kelsey Mitchell as more than just a sort of either on the move shooter or spot up shooter, right? That's what I saw her as before this season. But because now she has such a great passer in Caitlin Clark, we are able to see Kelsey's ability to just cut to the basket. Don't give Kelsey Mitchell the baseline. If Caitlin has the basketball, you don't want to give Kelsey that baseline because Kelsey is cutting to the basket and she's going to get it and score. Like it's tough. It is absolutely tough because Kelsey, she doesn't need real space to get a 3-point shot off. She could take you on a dribble. She does not look that quick, but this girl is extremely, extremely quick. And when you playing against the Indiana Fever, man, you probably lately you've been getting killed by Kelsey and Caitlin. I'm just telling you, like these players, they're fantastic together. They really are. They really are. You have Kelsey Mitchell, who just dropped 36 on the Dallas Wings. This is a headache for any team playing against them. You can call them the headache starters, headache gang, headache sisters, whatever you want to call it. This is a team that's going to give you a headache. All right. And they are led by 2 high octane offensive players. And guys, this team is special. Those two players in Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark are extremely, extremely special. And yeah, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem in the playoffs. I'm just telling you, y'all better watch out now. All the top teams that I listed above, they all better watch out because the Indiana Fever are on a roll. If they can stay healthy, they making some serious, serious noise in the WNBA playoffs. So y'all better watch out. All right, because the Indiana Fever are coming for you. All right. At number 7, we have the Phoenix Mercury, who are on a 3-game skid at home. Though they did play some really good teams at home. So that's, that's that. I am fairly certain that the Phoenix Mercury will end up making the playoffs. But here's the thing. They aren't going to really do anything in the playoffs, in my opinion. I do think that the Phoenix Mercury will be a first round out because they're just not very good. Yes, you do have stars, right? You have Clea Copper, who's having a fantastic season, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough on the Phoenix roster's team, on the Phoenix Mercury's roster, like at all. It's just not enough to actually make real noise, because they really just have Clea Copper, and that's about it. Now, while the Phoenix Mercury are not doing that great in terms of wins, there is a stat that the Phoenix Mercury is excellent at. It is one of the coveted stats in the WNBA, not really, but it's fun to talk about, and that is the art of the technical foul. The Phoenix Mercury lead the WNBA this year in techs with 33 techs, which is, guys, a WNBA single season record. Because, guys, don't we love records? We love records here. I love to talk about records. And what better record to talk about than the most technicals in WNBA history in a single season? 33, guys, 33. Second place goes to the Chicago Sky with only 16. So the Sky got to catch up. The Sky got to catch up because the Phoenix Mercury is on top with those technical fouls. Now, the reason why I'm talking about technicals is because on Tuesday, the Phoenix Mercury play the Atlanta Dream, but they will be without Natasha Cloud. Now, the reason why will be serving a 1-game suspension. Now, that is after stockpiling a whopping 7 technical fouls each for this season. The Phoenix Mercury is a team that, this is what they do. They get technicals. They get technicals, and this is not much of a surprise, right? Diana has 7. All right, guys, this is Quita, the editor, talking. After I recorded this video, it was announced that the WNBA front office has reviewed Diana's 7th technical that came yesterday, and they have rescinded it. So now Diana Taurasi officially has 6 technicals on the season. She will not be suspended for Tuesday's game. Natasha Cloud's suspension is being upheld. She will be suspended on Tuesday. Her technical foul was not rescinded, but Diana's was. Now, so I will continue on with the video as is, but just keep that note that even though I mentioned both, technically Diana's got hers rescinded today.
Reaction to D having her tech rescinded by the league.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty good understanding that it might happen throughout the game. The official kind of said that she was going to talk to the league, that it might have been a mistake. So I'm glad that they did the right thing.
Yeah, what exactly did constitute her to have the second thoughts on sending that tech out to D?
I'm not sure. They must have thought that it was to the point that she didn't deserve it. I don't know. I haven't even seen the press release yet today, but I heard that it got rescinded.
Natasha Cloud has 7. Clea Copper is not far behind. She is not far behind. She just needs 1 more, and she will get suspended as well. She has 6 on the season. Brittany Griner has 4 technicals on the season, and Sophie Cunningham has 3. Now, it is possible that technical fouls can be reviewed and rescinded by the WNBA, but that's pretty rare for it to happen. And so far, it hasn't happened for the Phoenix Mercury so far this season. So yeah, technical fouls is a thing in the WNBA. It's always been a thing, and it's nothing new for the Phoenix Mercury. In 2020, they were tied with Connecticut at 11 technicals for the season. In 2021, they were in second place with 13 technicals for that season. And last year, in 2022, the Phoenix Mercury took the #1 spot with 27 techs. I'm sorry, that was in 2022. And last season, in 2023, cooler heads prevailed for the Mercury, and they were tied for third place with only 15 technicals. They have absolutely made it for lost time, and as I said, they have 33 on the season. Now, the way that the WNBA rules stand, players will get suspended without pay for one game if they get 7 technicals in a single season. If they keep racking up technicals, they will continue to get suspended for every other tech. So for the 7th technical, you're suspended for 1 game. For the 8th technical, you're not suspended. For the 9th technical, you are suspended. 10th, not. 11th, you are, and you go on and 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 go on. The hope is that the WNBA is disincentivizing players from getting technicals and coaches from getting technicals, because they can also get techs and not be able to participate as well. There is a financial cost to technicals as well. $200 for each tech from 1 to 3. $400 for techs 4 through 6, $800 for each technical of 7 or more. And Diana Taurasi is a pro's pro when it comes to technical fouls. She is no stranger to getting suspended for technicals. In 2016 and in 2018, Diana had 7 techs and was suspended for 1 game. And in 2023, she had 9 techs and was suspended for 2 games. It is clear to see that, guys, Diana Taurasi is the queen of the WNBA when it comes to technical fouls. And it feels like she kind of wears that with a little bit of badge of honor, a little bit of pride in that.
Those refs are eyeing people like no other. Like, pay attention to the game. Don't be so sensitive. But on our thing, we gotta own it. Sometimes, we need to focus on ourselves, what we can do. We're not gonna get every call. The refs are humans. They're not gonna get every call right either. And sometimes you just gotta suck it up and keep playing. But it looks like there's been a lot of eyes on us this year. I know we have a lot of fiery people. I know we've set the record for most techs, so we gotta look ourselves in the mirror and see how we can do better. But moving forward, we're grown women. Stop being so sensitive on both ends.
Well, mine's definitely getting rescinded.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I'll be playing the next game.
All right, and if you are curious where everyone else stands with technicals, we, of course, have Diana and Natasha at the top of the league. We have Clea Copper on a tightrope with 6, and 1 more, and she will be suspended. We got Arike Agumbawale, Kelsey Plum, and Caitlin Clark, who all have 5 techs on the season. And if you all have been watching the Indiana Fever games, you all will see that the team is well aware about Caitlin's techs, and they are on tech duty to ensure that Caitlin does not get any more techs, because this team cannot afford for her to miss a single game. In the 8th spot, we have the Chicago Sky, who have been on a massive downward spiral since the Olympic break. The team has been playing without their star, Kennedy Carter, who has been out for health and safety protocols, and it's been showing with the team losing 8 of their last 10 games. So yeah, the Sky really don't have good odds for the remainder of the season. But they did have a series of close games, which, yes, doesn't matter in the scheme of things because you either win or you lose, and they were losing. But we did see some really good play from 2 of their rookies in Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. These are the only 2 rookie starting pair in the WNBA this season, and those 2 players are absolutely doing their thing on the season. First, we start with Camila, who is finally starting to get the basketball from the guards. They're doing a little bit of a better job at doing that. Camila is, especially in the last game on Sunday, she was getting in positions to score, and it has paid off. Not in terms of wins, but in terms of making games very, very close and more competitive. Camila had 22 points on 7 of 11 shooting in Sunday's game against the Minnesota Lynx. And if the Sky would just truly, fully commit to playing inside out for an entire game, these close games, they would turn into wins. They would absolutely turn into wins because the Chicago Sky, they have a future with their bigs. But the key is continuing to give them the ball, specifically making sure that Camila Cardoso touches the ball just about every single time down the court. Now, the other rookie for the Chicago Sky who has been doing her thing is Angel Reese. Angel has officially grabbed 418 rebounds, becoming the WNBA's single-season rebounding leader, beating Sylvia Fowles, who had 404 rebounds in 2018. Now, some of y'all may be saying, well, sure, Angel has more rebounds because the WNBA season is longer now. Well, yes, the WNBA season is longer now, but did you know that Sylvia Fowles had 404 rebounds in 34 games in 2018? Angel Reese has 418 rebounds in just 32 games so far. And, if it wasn't just the overall rebounding record that Angel surpassed. Now, this is not just for rookies. This is for everybody, right? Angel now also holds the single season record for offensive rebounds in a season, totaling 165 rebounds, passing Yolanda Griffith, who had 162 in 32 games in 2021. Now, of course, Angel, when it comes to Angel, individual stats, while they're cool or whatever, they don't matter for her because her main goal is helping her team get a dub. So yes, while we talk about rebounding and whatnot, the Chicago Sky is not a team that is winning right now. And Angel Reese is a player who's accustomed to winning. And while those rebounds are cool, Angel wants those wins. And that is way more important to her than the record books. Now, guys, going on to the number 9th spot, 9 through 12, actually, we have the Atlanta Dream, the Washington Mystics, the Dallas Wings, and the Los Angeles Sparks, who all technically still have a chance to make the playoffs. But Dallas and LA have a very, very, very tough rest of the season schedule. So I don't think it's likely that we will actually see them have a chance to make the playoffs. Right now, I do see Atlanta squeezing into that 8th spot and moving the Chicago Sky down a peg. Next week, we will do a deeper dive on the bottom 4 teams, just an FYI. All right, staying on to the WNBA for a little while longer, we all should rejoice because it looks like the WNBA is set to add another team in 2026. And this one will be in Portland. And if you all know anything about Portland, you're probably like, wait, didn't the Portland Fire exist? Didn't Portland have a WNBA team in the past? And yes, they did. The team was called the Portland Fire, and they joined the WNBA in 2000, but the team only lasted for 3 seasons before they folded. Ever since then, women's basketball has continued to steadily grow and grow and grow. And in the last several years, it's been growing leaps and bounds in America. We have seen over the last several years in college basketball, we have seen it in the WNBA. Ratings are up, attendance is up, viewership is up, merch sales are up, and business around women's basketball is booming now more than ever. And now it's time. It's the perfect time for expansion to happen. And that's what the WNBA is doing. We will see the Golden State Valkyries join the league in 2025, next season. Toronto will add a new team to the W in 2026. No word yet on the name of that team. And now we have a new team in Portland that will officially be announced on September the 10th. Now, who are the owners of this new Portland team? Well, the ownership group is led by the Batal family. The family is led by Father Raj Batal, who is currently a co-owner of the Sacramento Kings. He and his family just bought the Portland Thorns for $63 million earlier this year. And now the family is on their road to owning the WNBA's 15th franchise. Now, if you all remember, Portland was in talks to get a WNBA team last year, but the deal eventually fell through. The deal would have had the team start playing in 2025, which is why we only have one team starting in 2025. It was supposed to be the Golden State team and the Portland team, but Portland didn't work out. That ownership group of last year's conversation would have been owned by Zoom Info co-founder Kurt Brown, but the deal, as I said, fell through at the last minute because of talks about Moda Center renovations being to blame. Was that the truth? Who knows? But Portland was put back on the table, and now it is actually becoming a reality. Like I said, this will officially be announced on September the 10th, and the team will start to play in 2026 with Toronto as the two new teams in the W. No word yet on if Portland will revive the Fire name. I actually really like that name. I actually also like their color scheme and all that stuff. I thought it was kind of cool. We'll see if they actually bring it back or if they decide to select a new name. This new Portland team will play at the Moda Center, which is where the Portland Trailblazers play. But the Moda Center will be going under renovations, so the team will likely start off playing at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, which holds about 12,000 fans. Now, guys, since the Batal family also owns the Portland Thorns, they have women's sports on lock when it comes to Portland, which opens up the chances of us seeing way more interactions between the NWSL, which is the soccer league, and the WNBA. Shout out to Sean Hyken from the Rose Garden Report for breaking the story about the news that Portland is officially going to be getting a WNBA team on September the 10th. I'll link the article down below. Now, away from the WNBA and onto college basketball, where we talk about some very, very concerning news. Last week, following my Women's Basketball Weekly video where I talked about Sedona Prince's lawsuit against the NCAA, a commenter posted and pointed out that Sedona actually has had some abuse allegations and that I should look into them. So I did. And I wanted to share with you all what I found. Now, on August the 14th, 2024, a petition appeared on change.org to hold Sedona Prince accountable and remove her from TCU women's basketball. The petition reads in part, as an individual who has personally experienced the deep pain caused by abuse, it breaks my heart to see a known domestic abuser maintain a place of respect within our society, essentially being shielded by a reputable university. We firmly believe that allegations of such grave misconduct should be taken seriously and addressed urgently. We are therefore calling on Texas Christian University to take immediate action involving this matter involving Sedona Prince, a member of their women's basketball team, and remove her from the team. We believe that without accountability, there can be no justice, and without justice, there is just another silent victim carrying their pain in the shadows. Let's shine light on this issue and mark a step forward for truth and respect, ensuring that our universities uphold the principles they are supposed to represent. So, after reading that petition, I went to sort of figure out what was going on and what exactly the allegations were. And it looks like Sedona's ex-girlfriend is accusing her of verbal and physical abuse. And she actually discussed it. She actually discussed the abuse in a 10-part TikTok series called Who the Blank Did I Take to Mexico? Now, you all can watch those videos if you all want, but among other things, it is alleged that Sedona pushed Olivia, which is her ex-girlfriend's name, off of a moving ATV. Also, that Sedona left Olivia stranded in the jungle. Now, that's all alleged, so don't sue me, Sedona. But as of right now, the petition is building steam like fire. They have 186,000 signatures as of right now. And also, as of right now, Sedona Prince is still on the roster for TCU. Last season, Sedona averaged 19.7 points a game and 9.7 rebounds and 2.9 blocks a game in 21 games before she got injured. And after she got injured, it was said that she received a medical hardship waiver from the NCAA and will return to the team for this upcoming season. Now, as far as I can tell, there is no legal lawsuit happening, though it was alleged that Sedona was threatening Olivia about going public and lawsuits and all that stuff. So right now, Sedona has not been charged with anything, but there is heavy allegations weighed against her, and there is a petition that is really picking up steam on change.org. We also pair that information with some terrible info also related to another college student. South Carolina's own Ashlyn Watkins was charged with assault and kidnapping and was arrested on campus by campus police on Saturday. Now, the arrest warrant for Ashlyn Watkins stated that Ashlyn forcibly grabbed the victim's face, pulling her by her arms and pushing her. And that Ashlyn also picked up and carried the victim against her will, grabbed her head, and forced her to walk down the hall, thus controlling her movement while preventing her from leaving, the victim from leaving. The arrest warrant also says that the victim was eventually able to get away and pull a fire alarm, which reported first responders, and that the incident was all captured on video, though no video has been released just yet. Her lawyer, in a statement, said this:
"We just ask for patience as we unpack what happened 2 nights ago. And we firmly believe that when all the facts come out, this will simply be a misunderstanding. And she maintains her innocence throughout this entire process."
And Watkins was given a $30,000 bond. Public records also show the conditions of her bond will include no direct contact with the victim. She does have permission to travel outside of the state for games and practices and has a court appearance scheduled for late October.
Last season, as a sophomore, Ashlyn came off the bench for the Gamecocks and averaged 9.2 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, including 91 blocks on the season. She also is the first women's basketball player in program history to dunk in a game. She did it both as a freshman and as a sophomore. Now, as of right now, Ashlyn is still with the team. A spokesperson for the South Carolina Gamecock women's basketball team said in a text to the Associated Press that the school was aware of Ashlyn's arrest and was continuing to gather information. I have not seen anything, seen a response from Dawn or Ashlyn as of right now, but if you all see anything, please put it in the comments. Now, guys, you all know that I, on this channel, don't like to focus on terrible stuff that happens. I don't like to get into gossip or rumors or accusations or whatnot. But I thought that these two cases were important for me to talk about. One, because if this stuff is true, it's terrible and people should know about it. But also because there is a real life basketball impact for this, because both Sedona and Ashlyn are critical for their teams, right? TCU was pretty decent until Sedona got hurt, and then they just kind of floundered from there. And for the South Carolina Gamecocks, this is a team that was looking to have Ashlyn start for them this season. She had a fantastic year last year coming off the bench, and this year she was going to have an even bigger role for the team. And so I'm highlighting these because right now, both players are still with the team, but who knows how Ashlyn's court hearing is going to go in October on what her future is for this team, like what's going to happen from there. We don't know. So it may have some serious real world impact, not just for her and the victim, but also for the South Carolina Gamecocks as a team. And then for TCU, as far as I can tell, there is no lawsuit or charges against Sedona Prince, but the accusations is like extremely concerning, and TCU could decide to move away from Sedona. The petition has a lot of signatures, and so we don't know if the decision to have her stay on the team will change or not. But it's definitely concerning. So I wanted to talk about those because I do think they do have real world basketball impact. And as a reminder, guys, I don't know any of these people. I actually don't know anybody personally who plays either professionally or in college for women's college basketball. I don't know these people. I have no idea if they are guilty or not of what they're accused of. I am just providing information that has been publicly available and just delivering it in a video format. But what I do know, guys, is that how we treat people is critically important, guys. I try to say this in most of my videos, to treat people with respect, to care for people, to treat people with kindness. And that's what we need to do, guys. These allegations suck. It's a stain on the players involved, allegedly. It's a stain on women's basketball as a program, and it's a huge problem for the victims, right? The victims alleged victims, don't sue me, who experience assault and were victimized. This is not good, guys. I hope that, the police, the powers that be, do what's right by investigating these things, figuring out what actually happened, and then giving a judgment based off of that. But guys, we got to do right by other people. We got to do what's right. We have to treat people with respect. We have to treat people the way we want to be treated. You have to. When it's not just a physical thing, it's a verbal thing too. Think about what you're going to say before you say it. Be slow to speak. Be slow to action. Think. And then act, guys. One thing for sure is that I'm praying for everybody involved, for Ashlyn, for Sedona, for Olivia, for the unnamed victim in Ashlyn's case, for everybody who has experienced physical and emotional abuse. It's not cool. It's not right. And it's just not called for in society. It's just not. If there are any future updates related to their statuses on their respective programs, I will make sure to let you all know. All right, now let's move on. For this week's international news, we have Australia's Tess Madgen, who has announced that she is retiring from basketball. She wrote on Instagram, "It is with a heavy heart, happy knees, and a content brain that I would like to announce my retirement from basketball. I am not overstating when I say this game has given me everything. It has taught me everything I know, given me the best partner and friends, allowing me to travel the world, and given memories to span a lifetimes. I will forever be grateful to this game and will miss playing it so much." Tess is a 6 foot tall guard who's 33 years old. She has led the Opals for years, recently serving as the team captain. She's played in 2 World Cups, winning silver and bronze. She also played in 2 Olympics, winning bronze a month ago in Paris. Tess had a brief stint in the WNBA in 2015 when she played a handful of games with the Phoenix Mercury. But most of her career has been in the WNBL, which is Australia's Women's National Basketball League, where she won a championship in 2022 with Melbourne. And a little bit of a fun fact, did you know that Tess Madgen actually comes from a sports family? Her uncle played in the Australian Football League. One of her brothers also played in the Australian Football League, and another one of her brothers played in the NBL, which is Australia's men's basketball league. Now, we will wrap up the show with a new section that I'm calling, What Was That? Where I talk about something that I either found hilarious or stupid. And for this week, I have 2 videos that fit both. First up, it is the face of the league, Sydney Colson, who on Sunday was a captain on Wildin' Out.
What's up, y'all? I'm trading my Aces jersey in for a Wildin' Out Mike. I'm so hyped to be team captain Sunday night. Y'all, Chance and Lil Kim are going to be on stage, so you know it's going to be crazy. Make sure to get your tickets ASAP. It's going to be a good time. Let's get wild.
Now, mind y'all, when she made this video, she was on a Las Vegas Aces flight. So talk about doing a second job on your first job while you're still at your first job. Now, the night actually came last night, and at the show, Sydney Colson had this to say.
Okay. This is my team. We the Las Vegas Aces. Yeah. But if we keep losing games, we gonna be in last place. Let's get it right now.
You don't just bring them on stage and embarrass them like that. She says, y'all motherfuckers better get it together. She did the Coach Carter on their ass. Y'all losing as a team.
Y'all, she was spitting jokes, but also she was spitting straight up facts, because the Las Vegas Aces gotta win more games. They gotta start winning more games. But it's very, very hilarious. And you saw some of her players were some of her teammates were on the court. And I wonder what Becky Hammond had to say when she watched that video. I just wonder. Now, next up, after one of the Fever's games, a reporter asked a very, very strangely worded question to Caitlin Clark, and her expression is hilarious.
To ask was Windy City Skyscrapers Friday night. What was the biggest wing game you expected to find today in the shindig against these Dynamos from Big D?
Next question. Kate, how does it feel coming in tonight? You broke another.
Now, question, guys, do y'all understand what this man said? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if y'all actually make out what he said. It was just strange. It was strange and hilarious. And Caitlin's face, her facial expression was so funny. So funny. Anyway, guys, that is this week's show. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all are having a fantastic Labor Day. Guys, I make content all about women's basketball, so if that is your thing, if y'all could subscribe to the channel, that would be really, really awesome. We are on our road to 30,000 subscribers, which is a crazy huge number, but I think we can all get there. If y'all could please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your neighbor, tell your friend, tell your co-workers, tell your teachers, tell everybody that Quita Loves Sports is on YouTube talking about women's basketball for the masses and doing it in a approachable and reasonable way. Guys, appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. This was a pretty long one, so I'll have to cut it here. There's, of course, a lot more stuff I can talk about, but we will get to more in next week's episode. That is it, guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.